real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Mary Ann Hansen and her granddaughter Jessica say Jessica has a baby with the defendant, and her family never liked him because he was abusive and had been kicked out of school for vandalism. Mary Ann's suing because she claims the defendant stole her car and got into an accident. Defendant Ben Besaw says Jessica is no angel because she's been in trouble with the law, and she was right there with him when he vandalized the school. Ben admits to crashing Mary Ann's car, but he insists Jessica gave him permission to drive the vehicle.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, this is my granddaughter, Jessica, who is a very good person. She had made some bad decisions in her life, and one of them was getting pregnant when she was a freshman in high school with Ben Besaw. No one in the family liked him very much because he was very abusive. He was a troublemaker, and he had vandalism. He vandalized the school by painting the walls and got kicked out of school. Even one time when she was at the house, they got into an argument, and she was holding the baby, and he actually pushed her.
That's not true, Your Honor.
All right, we'll let you respond completely in a minute.
Your Honor, after the baby was born, she moved into our house. My husband and I thought we could help her. So
Where was she living before?
With her mother.
All right, let me allow him to give background. Sir?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say, Jessica, she's trying to say like she was a perfect angel and everything, and that's not true. That vandalism thing that she mentioned, Jessica was right there with me doing it, you know, and she's been on felony papers as a juvenile before.
What were the other cases you're referring to?
She was on papers for mail fraud.
All right, were you also
I wasn't
associated
involved
with
in
that?
I wasn't involved in that.
Yes, he was, Your Honor.
How so?
He was right along with me.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right. So it could be the case that like many women who get involved in criminal activities, they fall on a no good man.
Yes, Your Honor.
That could be the case.
Could be the case.
Who was the leader?
He was, because he actually got kicked out of school twice.
So it could be the case that like many women who get involved in criminal activities, they fall on a no good man.
Yes, Your Honor.
That could be the case.
Could be the case.
Who was the leader?
He was, because he actually got kicked out of school twice.
Defendant Ben Besaw has a child with the plaintiff's granddaughter, and he's accused of stealing the plaintiff's car, driving drunk, and getting into an accident.
Go ahead.
You know, on the night in question, she called me. She has copies made of her grandma's house, all their vehicles.
Let me allow, since we're getting to the night in question, let me allow Ms. Hansen to tell me about that.
Okay, night in question.
When?
Easter of 2009.
All right.
Okay, I went out on town on Friday, and when I came back on Monday the 13th, my car was gone, my doors were unlocked. So I immediately called my daughter to see where my car was, and she said she didn't know. So I then called the police, and the police said, we need to come over and talk to you. So when the police came over to talk to me, they immediately told me that Ben Besaw took my car without my permission. He was being charged with that. He was being charged with DUI, and he was also being charged for vandalism.
How did the police know he had taken it without your permission?
Okay, he took my car, he drove it 11 miles. After he drove it for 2 miles, he hit the side of the tires on the right side against railroad ties. Blew both tires out. Continued to drive the car 9 miles to a gas station to get a pack of cigarettes. There he told
I thought you were going to tell me to get the tires fixed.
It's still rolling.
So he drove to the gas station not to get the tires fixed, but to get cigarettes.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So then the gas attendant told him that he has no tires on his car, and he says, I know, it's not my car.
He said, by the way, sir, you go ahead.
So then after that, he said, the gas attendant told him not to drive the car, and he says, but he ignored him, and he took the car and went back. Well, the gas attendant called the police then and reported it, and picked him up at the scene of the accident.
Why did the attendant call the police?
Because he took the car.
But how did the attendant know?
Because he told him so.
He told the attendant I took it without permission?
Yes.
That's not, I told her that the person who owned the car didn't know that I had it, but This is like a dumbest crook thing.
Hey, Doyle is not calling you dumb,
Yeah.
but he said this is like the dumbest criminal.
Yeah.
Because, sir, my question to you was, did you tell the attendant you took it without permission? And your response was, I took it, but the people don't know that I have it.
Yeah.
That's called without permission, sir.
Well, when you put it that way, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Okay, well, the crazy thing is, I didn't think it was Marianne's car still, because when she got her new Toyota, she sold it to her nephew, but they just never signed the title over yet. And he's let me drive his car before, so I didn't think it was an issue.
Sir, did this other guy give you permission to use the car?
Not at this time.
Well, then, you didn't get permission from anybody to use the car. Sir, were you convicted for taking this car?
Yes.
All right, so what's your defense today if one court has already convicted you?
Well, I feel like I'm not responsible for the damages to the car. I did 2 years in prison for this. I feel like I paid my debt. I win and I try to straighten my life out.
I got my debt
to society for what I did.
All right, but she want her money.
Yeah.
You haven't paid her. You paid society, but you didn't rip off society. Okay. You ripped her off.
Okay, but to my knowledge, though, this was not her car.
Why didn't you tell the other judge all this? The other judge didn't believe you before he convicted you?
I copped a plea, so it didn't come up.
All right, so why you cop a plea and now you want to change your plea? You've already pled guilty.
Yes.
So what are we here for then if you already pled guilty?
The thing was, I didn't contest it because it was a good plea deal with my other charges. Jessica was the one who gave me the car keys, told me to take the car to go get cigarettes.
Not true.
And
Your Honor.
yes, it is.
No. Mm-hmm.
She had the car. She's the one who let me into her grandma's house. Mm-hmm. She had the car keys. Mm-hmm. I didn't jimmy the ignition or anything. I had the keys to it, and you know, I didn't. I know it was wrong to drive drunk, and obviously my biggest mistake was getting in that car. But I don't feel like I should have to pay for it because I was given permission to take it. I did 2 years in prison for this. I feel like I paid my debt. I win and I try to straighten my life out. I got my debt to society for what I did.
All right, but she want her money.
Yeah.
You haven't paid her. You paid society, but you didn't rip off society. Okay. You ripped her off.
Defendant Ben Besaw has a child with the plaintiff's granddaughter, and he's accused of stealing the plaintiff's car, driving drunk, and getting into an accident.
Some people do this all the time. They roll the dice and say, okay, I'm going to plead guilty to avoid getting a certain amount of time, even though I may not have done it. Unfortunately, when you plead guilty, that is on your record. You pled guilty. You pled guilty to a lesser crime. Nonetheless, everybody's convinced you did it because you said you did it. So I'm convinced you did it because you said on paper to another court that you did it. You served time for doing it. And what folks need to know is, yes, sometimes it's smart to plead guilty to avoid the risk of a long sentence. But if you do that, then you may be held liable for the civil claim. And that's what's happening today. You owe the damages for what you have admitted to doing. And that's the case today. I'm going to have to grant her $3,335 because you pled guilty to it. Not that I believe your story. I do believe them. I think you took it without permission and wrecked it. Have a good day.
When she said that happened, I was dropping off our son and tried to leave, and she got crazy and tried to keep me there because she wanted me to stay by her. And I told her I got to do, so I got to leave. And that's when she picked up our son and started trying to claw at me and scratch at me to get me to stay. And I ended up doing jail time for that too. So
Ben, you deserved getting this. You really deserve longer sentence, but you didn't get it. And also because you mistreated my granddaughter and my great-grandchild.